Who is the Wrestler of the Year in 2022? That's what we're going to find out today here on SCW. I've got myself, along with a number of friends across YouTube and Twitch, going to give their vote who they think is the Wrestler of the Year for 2022. And once everyone has casted their vote, at the end of this video, we'll see who is the top of the leaderboard. It could be male, it could be female, could be someone from WWE, AEW, New Japan. We'll have to wait and see. But before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who got involved to collaborate to make this video possible. You can actually click the link to each and every channel in the description of this video. Go and show them some love, subscribe to their channel and watch some of their content. But without further ado, we've got 11 channels, 14 votes in total. Let's kick in with entry number 1. A fantastic weekly podcast here on YouTube and on audio platforms. I've got 1/3 of the terrific trio with me, Carl Gagliardi of On The Mark Wrestling Podcast, giving his vote for Wrestler of the Year 2022.
What is going on, everyone? It is Kyle Gagliardi from the On The Mark Wrestling Podcast once again here on SCW, the wrestling channel. Thank you, Steve, once again for asking me to be a part of this. This video, you are asking the question, who is the Wrestler of the Year? And there are many good options for this award, but for me, truly, I have to go with Seth freaking Rollins. Consistency from the beginning of the year to the end, involved in some pivotal feuds in the WWE. Mr. Consistency, as I like to call him, is Seth freaking Rollins. For me, he is the 2022 Wrestler of the Year.
Fantastic choice there from Kyle there from On The Mark Wrestling Podcast. Seth freaking Rollins has had a killer year. It's hard to argue with that, but will Seth be the #1 spot at the end of this video? It's time to find out now by going to entry number 2. And he's a maniac, don't you know? Weekly podcasts, vlogs, a part of the Rest Things team. It is none other than the consistent WrestleManiac UK, here giving his vote for Wrestler of the Year 2022.
What's up, people? It's your boy Mex, the WrestleManiac, if you will. And I got the call from Steve. Steve was asking, who is the best wrestler of 2022? Well, to Steve and all of his great followers, there is only 2 real answers. Let's be completely honest. My answer is Will Ospreay. Billy Goat himself. I think Will Ospreay has had an outstanding 2022. Like, literally, from his character work to, you know, his presentation, being everywhere, literally flying around the globe and being, you know, this wrestler that does this everywhere. Like, wrestlers don't really do that, you know. They stay in their promotions and, you know, just dominate in that, and that's absolutely fine, but he's doing it all over the globe. And lest we talk about the matches, like the quality of some of the matches Will Ospreay has put on, the amount of 5-star matches he's had this year alone. Like, Ospreay chased down some of the greats that have had, you know, X amount of 5-star matches. And he's faced a lot of big names this year. Like, Will Ospreay has had an outstanding 2022. Honestly, like, he is the 2022 Wrestler of the Year, in my opinion. Peace out.
Amazing choice. Will Ospreay, Billy Goat himself there. Hard to argue, every match he's put on this year has been an absolute banger. But which other superstars are putting on banger after banger after banger? Well, I tell you what, we've got some banging channels coming up for you now here on SCW. I'll be back in a few channels' time. But first off, kicking us off is someone that's always in with the wrestling news, someone who's guaranteed to keep you in the know what's happening in the wrestling world and not making you have to go through a paywall to find out either. His show is called Spoiler Warning. I often say we're being spoiled. It's none other than Mr. Tom Colohue.
Steve, you always pickle my head with some of these questions. So, Wrestler of the Year. There's a lot of serious contenders this year. We've seen the rise of Gunther, for example. We've seen a lot of people dominate the scene. Liv Morgan, though, has seen her rise, even if it has been a bit quashed. Bianca Belair continues to be a strong contender, but there is a name that I have to pick out. Someone who, when you say wrestler, really has the full package and has really shown that this year. And that's Sami Zayn. Considering they started the season, as it were, WrestleMania earlier this year against Johnny Knoxville, they've become so integral. He's become a major piece of the Bloodline storyline, and he's given us so much in memorable moments, quality matches, and just fun. And hey, if it's always supposed to be fun, he's your guy.
Steve, happy holidays to you and to everyone watching this video on the SCW channel. This time you would like to know my personal wrestler of the year. If you've seen what my match of the year is, I just want you to know it's not going to involve either of those two people in that match. For me, it's someone who has put on consistently high standard matches all year round, even whether it's been in the likes of the Sellout Tokyo Dome to your local bingo hall. For me, it's my guy, Will Ospreay. He has been knocking out 5-star matches for fun with so many different people that, for me, if you want a wrestler of the year, it has to be the guy that's been delivering the constantly high standard of wrestling all year round. So for me, my wrestler of 2022 is none other than the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. Thanks for having me on, Steve, and I'll catch you soon.
Thank you again, Steve, for having me on one of these videos. I always appreciate it. And here I am talking about the Wrestler of the Year. I have a short list for this one because it was hard to just narrow this one down. On the WWE side, how can you not say Roman Reigns? How can you not say the entirety of the Bloodline? What about guys like Cody Rhodes, who had a short run in WWE but had a big impact? Somebody like Seth Rollins, who's had a year to begin with. Just a year of all kinds of great stuff. On the AEW side, though, you have guys like Mox, you have guys like Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler. But you know what? When it all comes down to it, my Wrestler of the Year for the year 2022 is Sami Zayn. How can it not be Sami Zayn? He is part of one of the best storylines in wrestling right now. He has turned the wrestling world on its ear. He has gone from a guy that people thought was a joke and has become a star. You can catch me at OLE Pods on our local establishment on Twitch.
Hi, I'm Liz.
I'm Jerry.
And we are from the
Irish
Wrestling
Wrestling
Entertainment. So for our Superstar of the Year, mine has got to be the one and only MJF, who was talked about even when he was on an absence of how many months. The chatter didn't stop, and I think this is only the tip of the iceberg. 2022, phenomenal. 2023 is going to be something else. And Jerry, yours?
My Superstar of the Year has to be Seth Rollins. He's had an amazing year, being one of the most arrogant heels in the company, turning it into a sort of babyface towards the end, but starting off the year against Roman Reigns and that Rumble match coming out to Shield music really topped it, and then having those matches with Cody. So he's had a phenomenal year, and I think it's only going to get better for him.
Some fantastic choices all around there, we must agree. But first off, big thank you to Irish Wrestling Entertainment. Love their content, and I've got to say their social media game is strong as well on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to give them and everyone here a follow. Also a big thank you to Ed Fries and NXSteve, both great wrestling minds. Love what they bring to the table each and every time. And of course, as I said earlier in the video, big thank you to Tom Colohue as well. So that's where we stand at this point with all the wrestlers that have been selected. Let's look at the standings. And as you can see at this point, we've got a three-way tie at the top there. Sami Zayn, Seth freaking Rollins, and Will Ospreay, all with 2 votes. And we've got MJF there with 1 vote. We're at the halfway point, but I tell you what, plenty of channels still to come, and all can change at this point. So without further ado, let's get straight back into it with not 1, not 2, but 3 votes coming up. It is the Triple Threat, a fantastic weekly podcast on YouTube. Make sure to check them out. It is West Coast Podcast. Take it away, guys.
Hello, Steve. From the West Coast PopCast, Eric and Knock have chosen Sami Zayn as Wrestler of the Year. Week after week, whether on the mic or in the ring, he has proven that he is the most talked about entertainer. Week after week, he has left everyone feeling oozy. That is why Eric and Knock have chosen Sami Zayn as Wrestler of the Year. I, on the other hand, have chosen someone a little more mysterious. None other than Scripps. He has terrorized the NXT Performance Center week after week, only proving that the Ultimate Terror is a wine sommelier. While possibly being repackaged more than Lacey Evans, He has an undefeated streak in NXT and is my Wrestler of the Year. Sincerely, Zach.
Hello, everybody. This is Astrid from OLE Podcast and Backbreaker Media. Steve asked me which person I would select as my Wrestler of the Year, and this might not be a surprise to most of you, but it'll be none other than Seth Rollins. I feel like even with everything, or all the losses he's had this year, at the same time, he has elevated a lot of the talent in the roster, and this is what I like about him so much. Not only that, but he has so many great matches this year. It's hard to pick just one, but he's definitely my Superstar of the Year, my Wrestler of the Year.
Wrestler of the Year, I think it's got to be MJF. Even though he missed majority of it, he still stayed relevant the entire time. And the way he left, the way he came back, finally winning the title, I think it's got to be him.
And it's hard to argue with that. Big thank you to Rated R for Rasslin, the Wrestling Report, keeping you in the know with the wrestling news each and every week. It's almost like This Week in Wrestling compiled into one video. Fantastic. Highly recommend you go and check it out. Also, a big thank you as well to Astrid Pizarro. Astrid Ask, fantastic YouTube channel. She's hardworking and dedicated. And you got to say there, love her vote as well. And a big shout out as well to West Coast PopCast, always bringing that flavour there for us. Scripts, maybe still an up-and-comer in my personal opinion, but I've got to love what you guys bring to the table. And speaking of the table, let's look at the current standings then, shall we? And as we can see now, Sami Zayn has gone into the lead with 4 votes. Seth freaking Rollins in second place with 3 votes. MJF and Will Ospreay are in third place joint with 2 votes. And questionably, Scripps is there with 1 vote. Still time for it all to change, but I tell you what, it's time to get another channel on. And when I say it's time, it's none other than Tino's time, a live streaming machine. Tino, take it away. Who is your Wrestler of the Year for 2022?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here at Tino's Time, and Steve, SCW Steve, asked me to be part of this video, and I appreciate it. And the question was, who is your Superstar of the Year? And I feel like the easy answer is Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the guy that puts the food on our plates, the guy that has been serving us all year long. But that's the easy answer. And I'm going to give you guys ones that, somebody that, you know, many people might not like, but, you know, it's okay. Because my Superstar of the Year is, are you guys feeling Usi? Because it's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, from being on WrestleMania, from being on everything, from doing what he did at WrestleMania with Johnny Knoxville, and now doing everything that he's doing with the Bloodline is great. I can't wait to see where this Bloodline storyline goes. And so, that is why Sami Zayn is my Superstar of the Year. Thank you, Steve, for letting me be a part of this video.
Firstly, if I can say a big thank you to Tino's Time there. A pleasure to have you on, as well as every other channel in this video as well. It's great to have you all on board, but it's time now to give my Wrestler of the Year for 2022. And I've got to say, there are a host of names out there that could have taken the spot for me. Will Ospreay was someone that stood out to me because every time I've watched him, he's had literally 5-star matches every single time. But I've got to be honest, I'm a sort of casual New Japan follower. I've seen more Will Ospreay in AEW, and so for that reason, I've not seen enough of him over the course of 12 months where I feel I can give that accolade. Bianca Belair has had a consistent, solid year. Rhea Ripley is going to another level right now. Roman Reigns is the biggest name in wrestling. All right, he's not had that many matches, but he is arguably the draw when it comes to WWE. But to give my vote, who I think Wrestler of the Year is, I've got to give a little shout out to Speedball Mike Bailey as well. Very impressive stuff in Impact Wrestling. But my vote, like everybody else, it goes to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has been Mr. Consistent all year from start to finish, and with everyone he's interacted with, whether it's been someone in the lower card, whether it's been someone as a celebrity, whether it is the Bloodline, he has turned everything into gold. From the start of the year, you can give a big hand to Sami. Well, literally got one at WrestleMania against Johnny Knoxville. That had no right to be a great match at WrestleMania. It was absolutely spectacular, and the build up to it was quite fun as well. Sami then wanting to be the locker room leader, linking it in with the Bloodline has been so much fun, and Sami has grown so much as a character, as a talent, has got off so organically with the crowd as well. You cannot argue that Sami Zayn, where he was at the start of last year to where he is now, he is at a top level to the point that many people want him to be the one to defeat Roman Reigns. It is no doubt in 2023 the split will happen with him and the Bloodline, but as you can see towards the end of 2022, the guy was the major player in the last WWE POE to make sure that the Bloodline won in War Games. Sami Zayn has been someone who's had a phenomenal 2022, whether it's in ring action. We forget the 5-way on SmackDown, which was in Montreal, where Sheamus went on to go and win that match to eventually go and take on Gunther. Sami Zayn was an MVP in that match. Like I say, it doesn't matter what Sami's done, it's been incredible to watch, and I'm here to see. He's the whole full package, in ring, out of the ring, comedy, personality. He makes me care when I watch him on a WWE screen, and I think for that is a very important ingredient to be the complete package. So let's look at the final standings then, shall we then? As we can see, Sami Zayn is your Wrestler of the Year for 2022 with 6 votes in total. Seth freaking Rollins in second place with 3 votes there, and joint third MJF and Will Ospreay with 2 votes each. So that is your Wrestler of the Year for 2022. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider hitting the like button, share this video with a friend as well, subscribe to SCW and hit the notification bell, each and every time a new video is released on the channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, then keep an eye out as well, because Match of the Year will be coming on this channel very, very soon, and it's going to be done in the very same format. What is the Match of the Year for 2022? Turn on those notifications so you can find out. But now it's your turn to get involved in the comments below. Let us know who you think the Wrestler of the Year for 2022 is. Have we got it right? Have we got it wrong? It's time now for you to get involved in the comment section below. And like I say, a big thank you as well to every wrestling YouTube or Twitch channel that got involved on this video. The links to every channel is in the description of this video. If you've enjoyed this video, then why not check out some of the videos that are popping up on the side of your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you next time here on YouTube.com. Sami Zayn is your Wrestler of the Year for 2022.